Welcome to the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast with host Jacqueline Burke. On today's special feature, we are interviewing Three Moons, Three Souls spiritual spa boutique vendor Ashley Ancion from Family Creations. We know you will really enjoy this interview.
Welcome to the podcast, Ashley. How are you today?
I'm good, and yourself?
Oh, good. Bubbly as ever. No.
It's Friday.
Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to talk about markets. We love markets. It's one of our favorites. So I'm anxious to know, and I would like you to tell our listeners what your business name is.
It's Creations from the Heart, or it's kind of like Creations from the Heart on Facebook and then Family Creations everywhere else. I couldn't get it changed on Facebook for some reason. So that's kind of actually Creations of the Heart started when I was trying to get my mom to sell her rocks, and
Oh,
she wouldn't. So I just kind of created a page that I put them on there for when
yeah.
she was ready that I could use it. So then when we started Family Creations, I was just like, well, the rocks are being included
Yeah.
now, and we're going to use that. And yeah, I tried to change it on Facebook, but it wouldn't let me. So that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. It kind of blends really well, you know? Family, heart, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
So like it's right. Well, yeah, and it kind of created, like, we are a family of full of creative people. We all like to draw and color, and we all have our own different um specialties, I would say. Like, my brother does airbrushing, and he does
Oh,
the tables with the resin and pours and stuff like that. So
nice.
mom got started into really getting into the rocks, and then my brother introduced me into resin, and I can't draw worth poop.
Oh,
So I was like, well, this is cool. It really speaks to my creative side, and I can do a lot of different things with the resin. So we've just all kind of really combined all of our stuff into
cool.
one. And it was, my mom kind of saw, like, we made a few pieces, and I sold a few pieces on to my friends, and she was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, people are interested. I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So then we kind of got thinking together, and she was like, yeah, okay, let's do this. So me and my mom kind of rock it out together
Yeah, right
with
on.
like, my son kind of adds some things in here and there, and my
Yeah.
brother, and yeah, so
Oh, yeah,
that's where family creation came from.
yeah. No, they're beautiful pieces. Yeah, there's some really nice,
Thank you.
yeah, the colors are fantastic. Yeah. I like your,
Well, me and my mom were talking last night. We were like, we cannot wait to show you the stuff that we've been building, because we're even so much more better than when we first sent our stuff. And it was
oh,
just like, oh my goodness.
no, they're beautiful. I mean, if I could have them all, I would. They're just very cute, and they're special pieces. There's yeah, just the snail. Those are so cute.
Yeah,
Oh gosh,
I
yeah.
love the snails, especially the happy face guy. Like, you just look at
Yeah.
him, and there is no way you could be mad, upset, nothing. Like, you look at him and you're just like, oh, you're such a happy guy.
Yeah.
And I actually had a customer say that walking through a market. She looked at him and she was like, wow, he is just a happy little guy. I
Yeah.
could imagine waking up to him every
Oh,
morning. I'm like, right?
so let's talk about markets. So what inspired you to start, well, first of all, to start your business and then to get involved in markets?
So what inspired us with the business, I've always wanted to get good enough in crafting where I could sell, and same with my brother. And then I've always kind of like dabbled with that with my mom and her rock painting and stuff. And it kind of came about when I was a new, like, change in life,
Mhm.
and she was kind of ready. And it's bittersweet, because me and my mom, we have like a love-hate relationship. We can super get along, or we can fight
Yeah. Well,
and stuff. So to be able to do a business together at this time, like this, my age, and it's really learning teaching us to reconnect and even work with like her PTSD and like my ADHD and all of that. Like we're really learning a lot about even each other with doing this together. Like my mom was just, she's like, yeah, I'll just help you because I like painting. Like, yeah. She's like, it's your thing, but I like painting, so I'm okay with helping and whatever. So it's been a really awesome journey for me and my mom to do this like together, and then like watching our other family members just get it as excited of like, oh my gosh, like this is really cool, this is working. And we just started, so it's like you definitely have to go with the ups and downs of it, especially in like market life. So we've gone to probably about 7 now markets since we started. And like we've had the ups and downs. We've had ones not go so well, and we've had ones that are like, oh, that's pretty good. And like we're kind of finding out where the struggles are, where maybe like we fit in, and like those kind of things. We did decide to kind of dial back a little bit on the markets and more go for like the boutiques and the stores and stuff like that. We've had another vendor that we talk to a lot, and he's had a ton of success that way. So that's been kind of our goal, so that we can still have a personal life, because markets are usually like on the weekends and stuff. And with me getting back to work and school and all that, like weekends aren't, I don't always want to be out working, especially when that's kind of my only time. My parents are retired, but still they still want to do a lot. So that's kind of where we found how we were going to balance it, because it was like, my mom's like, well, that's a lot of markets. Like, and I was always trying to find markets, but then we found markets really hard where we would do really well, but with the fee of being there, it almost, you take that out and we didn't do very well. But I try to keep the mindset of this is, we're trying to get our name out there of who we are, our products out there as well. So it's the first year, and I've heard that from other people that have been doing kind of markets and vendors for a few years, and it's just like, take the first year with like a grain of salt. Like it's just it's hard. And especially like, we also knew that, like, me and my mom talked about this, and then like we just want to be able to keep crafting. So that's kind of where it came about of like, well, let's sell things, because it was like resin is expensive and whatnot, but we love crafting, and I also love seeing people happy. So it's kind of like where I'm not as much out in the world helping people in that kind of job anymore. I can make them smile with my crafts and stuff. And it's like, that's just.
That is cool. You know what's funny is that like the first year, definitely in markets, it is about you have to look at it as a marketing expense. When you're paying out, because you're not only selling, but you're marketing yourself. It's like a platform to meet people, to introduce your business, to network, to all that sort of thing. So that's kind of a benefit, right? Like when it's slow during the day, or you have a lull during the day, perfect time to just walk around, introduce yourself to other vendors. Like it does, markets work. It's not just about sales, it's your whole marketing platform.
We've like gained a lot of connections over markets too. And like that is huge, like just hearing word of mouth. And it was funny because on our very first day, I had a lady tell me, she was like, well, you just don't know what can come from a market. And she was telling me her story about how she got offers from a place in Edmonton to come and paint for 400 people. She was like, I was painting in front of 400 people. She was like, that's just crazy to me. So she said, like, you just don't know what opportunities can come of that. And like, I honestly would have probably never stumbled upon your boutique if I wasn't started getting into that market and into the like that vendor world on Facebook. Like I would have never been able to know what was actually out there, which makes things possible for your
Oh
business to
yeah.
also kind of sell and stuff. Like this one vendor that he's so nice and gives so much information. He's got himself into a few stores and he said the one store sold out already. And he's
Yeah.
just like, I have to keep up now.
Yeah.
But it
Oh
just,
yeah.
there you go with the opportunities. He was like, he was
Abs
approached because somebody came down to a market and saw his stuff and was like, oh, that would totally sell in my store or
oh
whatever.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, the opportunities that can knock from that. And like, even like with us finding your boutique, like I would have never guessed even this podcast. Like
Yeah.
that's a, to me a really cool opportunity because I love podcasts and
Yeah.
I always was like, I wonder if I should dabble into podcasts. And then when you brought that up, I was like, oh my God, like this path, it just goes on with that whole path thing, right? Like this
Yeah.
is my path. And it's finally like, yeah,
Yeah,
it feels
absolutely.
good.
Yeah. Oh
Everything that
yeah.
I always kind of wanted in that brain of mine and whatever, and kind of wanted to dabble into, like
Yeah.
it's all starting to happen. So it's just like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, markets are like such a door that's open to so much more, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it,
The
if you're
people
set
you
up,
meet is amazing.
yeah. Yeah, like if you're set up, it's almost like going to a fall fashion show and like everyone's just sitting there, right? Watching the new stuff that's coming out. Well, in a way, you never
Yep.
know when you're sitting at a market. You're like the fashion show and buyers are coming around. Like you don't know who's coming to your table,
That's true. Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
Like you could be
Or
sitting
what they're
there,
gonna like too.
yeah. Like you're gonna be sitting there and it's like, okay, well, I wonder if that person's actually a buyer for a boutique. Or, you
Yeah.
just don't know. And that's another thing that unfortunately we forget about when we're at a market, right? Because we're so
Yeah.
geared at our product and selling to the community that we tend to
Yeah.
forget that there could be people coming in wanting to support vendors and putting them in their stores. And yeah, it's such
Yeah.
the biggest door that could open for small business and vendors is going to a market. Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like it's amazing. Some of the things I've
I've
seen.
been right, some of the
Yeah.
amazing, like it's just the creativity you see, and it's
Oh
just like,
yeah.
wow. Like my mom's pretty much done all her Christmas shopping. Like she's
Yeah.
a person that Christmas shops
Yeah.
throughout the whole year
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So she loves it because when she comes along with me, she Christmas shops
Yeah.
during the like slow times or
Yeah.
whatever. She'll go tootle around and like honestly, I love that because I also feel deep down inside, this is also really helping my mom and her
Oh,
PTSD. Like, there's always
absolutely.
so much that things help with. Like, I always get super like anxiety
Yeah.
around big crowds and people I don't know. But my mom, she's like, I watched you on the first couple markets. She was like, you would never guess that you have anxiety and stuff. She's like, you just like talk to people and connect with people and
Yeah.
all that. And like at home, like, yeah, I'm like a reserved, very quiet, kind of shy person. And I going into public makes me nervous, but it's amazing how, in a way, it's like it's helping me empower myself as well. Of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I can overcome this.
Yeah.
And then you hear like those amazing comments from people and other vendors and stuff. Like I said, the amazing people you meet at
Yeah.
a market is just it's mind that's I think mind blowing for me the most because I'm like I'm not a people person, but like oh my God, the people you meet are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I know
Yeah,
it's like a whole new world. The energy is different. The people are different. I mean, it's like you get to escape during those, what, 6 or 8 hours of the day. But yet you're
yeah,
still in your community. You don't feel like you are.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
It
pretty
is. It's a
cool.
whole yeah. It is a whole nother world. It's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't say enough about them. So what part about being a vendor at a market is like stands out for you in a very positive way?
I just feel like the the market atmosphere for vendors it just always seems very positive, even when it's like low and everyone's like, oh my goodness. It's just like everybody sticks together. It's like it's a little family. And I guess that it
Yeah,
brings back to me of like it takes a village to raise a child. And like,
yeah.
you go back in the day and they all lived as like little villages and stuff. And it's like that does make a difference
Oh,
and stuff. Like
absolutely.
the last market I was at, I adored what she made, and she thought I was going to sell her one product for her because everybody that walked by, I was like, "You need to go look at that." And she's like, "What about your booth?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, they can come to my booth too, but like, you guys need to go check that out." Like, everybody's so positive with each other, and you uplift each other, and I think that's just,
Yeah,
I guess that brings back the good in humanity. It brings
yeah,
back of like there is good in people and stuff because you can have competition. Like I see this little guy that sells 3D printing and he goes to all the three other 3D printing booths and he talks their ear off and learns from them and they don't want to like they're not like, "Oh, I'm not going to teach you because it's the
yeah,
same stuff." They are so willing to teach this kid stuff and I'm like, "That's awesome." Like, you know, it may be competition, but it's like that friendly competition. Like, yeah, we may competition each other, but I'm
yeah,
willing to teach you things. And that's what I found at markets. It's like everybody's willing to give out information and all of that stuff. And nobody's like, "Oh, I don't want to tell her because it might
you know,
hinder my business." Like we all work together as a family in a way. Like it's just
yeah.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
a community within a
Yeah.
community,
Yep.
right? Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
like, the word competition is kind of it's hard in a market because talk to
Mhm.
those that sell the same thing because you know what? You're if you don't have, say, something that your customer is looking for, then you have a vendor who you've
Yep.
befriended that may have that,
Yep.
and you're working together. Like in a recession where we're
Yep.
at, we need to do that more. Like we really do. We
Yep.
need to
I
be
agree.
supportive of even people and vendors who are selling the same thing. It may not be
Yeah.
identical, and we have to remember that. Products are not
Yep.
identical. They always have
Yeah.
different energies made into them. They have different, say, colors or patterns or anything like that,
Yep.
you know.
Great.
So it's just sticking together because when you do, you go further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. There was another, like, I was at a market and I was talking to this other vendor and she was like, "Oh, like me and her had the same product." And she was like, "Oh, you know what? I have less than you. I'm just going to pull it so that we don't have the same thing." And she's like, "Oh, she wasn't mad or anything. She just didn't want, like, she was like, 'Oh, no, I'd rather, like, you get your business.'" And I was like, that right there is huge because
Yeah.
in the corporate world,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's so different. Like,
Oh, yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, that gets a little dicey. That's another whole
Right. Yeah.
episode.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, and markets are like such a role model in a way, of
Yep.
how communities can be.
Yeah.
Drop the negativity, come together, work together, thrive together, be
Yeah.
successful together and go from there. That's important.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it almost brings back to like the back in the day where they used to like trade and stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah.
where you're doing more of like in your community and I just feel like that's a good thing. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like it would be nice for us to be all buying more in our communities or
Yeah.
in Canada or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, not just because of tariffs or whatever, but just because that's how I feel like our little communities
Yeah.
like thrive
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah. Supporting
they've
each
been
other.
doing it since way back when, right? They were all worked together and
Yeah.
traded and yeah, right? So
Yeah.
our world needs to get back to a
They
little bit of that
do.
instead of the quickness of here and now and
Yeah.
quick and yeah,
Quick and
right?
hurry up and
Instant gratification and stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's important. I remember when the pandemic first hit, I did some research on the other pandemic that was 100 years ago. And in
Yep.
there it said people worked together, they were trading, they were, swapping things. If you didn't have some food or whatever, they'd say, come to our house, we'll feed you, like that sort
Yep.
of thing. Like that's community, right? And
Yep.
I
Yep.
said to my husband, I said, oh, maybe this is going to be the first start of finally peace in the world because we're doing it
Hmm.
together.
Yeah.
And, things change, but I still have that
Yep.
mentality and I still have hope. And I found it in
Yeah.
markets.
Yep.
There's hope there.
Absolutely. I saw
So,
a market posted the other day, and it was a youth market, and it was for all the young vendors. It was just for the young vendors. So there was no other
yeah,
vendors. It was just the younger guys
yeah,
doing their thing. And I was like, good on that city for doing that. Like
yeah.
to promote the little guys again and being like, yeah, like,
Hmm.
back in our day, we like mowed grass and
Yeah,
sold lemonade and stuff.
yeah.
But these kids nowadays can do cool stuff. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
absolutely. Like, I love when I see the kids at the markets. I'm like, good for you, buddy. Like, good
Yeah.
on you.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Some
you're
of
not
the,
just sitting
ah,
in front of a TV, you've got goals, and
oh,
it was funny. Me and my mom watched this one kid. He wheeled and dealed with this one guy. He wanted 3D
oh,
printing from this other guy, and he does 3D printing.
yeah.
And they ended up wheeling and dealing. This guy came over to his table and he was like, okay, well, like if you give me those, I'll give you that. And I was like, oh, that is so awesome. I was
Yeah.
like, good on you, buddy. You're teaching him a lot of things about, even like wheeling and dealing and
Yeah. Oh,
trading
yeah.
and all that. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's so neat.
Yeah.
It's so cool the people you meet. That's right on.
Yeah.
So what piece of advice would you give to someone just starting in markets? Like brand new.
Not not to get discouraged
Yeah.
and to just follow your dream that the start is never going to be like all of that. And if it is, like kudos, but like don't that first like down or the first market that's just not good and you're like, wow, I didn't make any money. I just or even if you're just covering your table cost, you know what? That first year
Yeah.
you just have to bite it, and it's okay because you actually figure out where you need to be, what product sells in what market area. Like there's stuff
Yeah.
that sells in Black Falls that didn't
Yeah.
even get looked at
Yeah.
in Lacombe. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But so you figure out where your stuff is, and I'm like, that was always the advice I heard from everybody is don't take the first year personally. You're gonna
Yeah.
lose some. There's markets you're gonna make $4. There's markets you're gonna make maybe $100 or more. Like there's gonna be the good and the bad, and
Yeah.
you just have to keep reminding yourself that like you're brand new. Of
Yeah.
course, it's going to be hard, right?
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
almost like when you do that inner work with yourself. It's not easy, it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's ugly, but there's always the good times and there's always the successes. And I've been listening to all these different podcasts and they say like all of them are saying like 4 to 5 years is where they're really successful. Like they had to push through those first few years to just keep
Oh, yeah.
going, keep going. And like I totally believe that if with the day we're in nowadays, like we're gonna go through a recession, it's gonna be hard. So it's gonna be hard to like start and restart or
Yeah.
all that. So just keep pushing through and like have your little cheerleading group. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
have my few people that I know that have done markets and like I love talking to you about like how many
Yeah.
questions did I ask you?
Yeah.
And I remember telling my mom, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's probably like, what in the world? But
No.
then I learned in the market world that like no, we are all like friends and family and we just like let's
Yeah.
work together. If you
Absolutely.
succeed, like it all helps us, right? You help
Yeah.
somebody succeed, guaranteed like well not like that karma is going to come back to you. Like
Oh,
I do believe in the whole like universal stuff is like what's meant for you will come to you, and
yeah.
if you put your good karma out there to people you're going to get that back.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
so grateful to see your questions when you would message me because it told me that you had passion for your business. and you wanted to learn and you wanted
Yeah.
to, just, yeah, succeed and just learn anything you could. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
never stop asking questions, that's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you
Yeah.
grow. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how you just even grow, like even with our products, like I said, like
Oh
me and my
yeah.
mom have all done like our own little research of watching videos and how
Yeah.
people do things, and then we try things and make things, and some things are like, oh, that's a dud.
Yeah.
Like I've thrown a few things, I've unpeeled it out of a mold, and it's like literally right into the garbage. I'm like, yeah, nope. But then there's the pieces that are like, oh wow, am I gonna be able to do that again? Because that turned out
Yeah.
awesome. Like my mom asked me about that wolf that I made, and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm not really sure what colors. It was like three different pours, so I'm not really sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome, that one, I'll tell you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
like
one's gonna be
learning how to
hard to
cook,
sell.
right? Yeah. It's like learning how to cook, right? Like, I
Yeah,
mean, the first you burn something, I mean, you can't get upset at it really because
no,
it is what it is. That's how you learn
and
and
you have to be proud of yourself no matter what. Like it is funny. My mom's been like, "No, I don't like this piece," and I'm like, "I like it." I'm like, "Mom, you don't know what somebody likes." And
right.
there was these dogs we made, and we were like, "No, nobody's gonna like it because the eyebrows got all messed up, and they were like
Okay.
teal, and it was a
Oh,
brown dog,
yeah.
and it had some like teal eyebrows and little teal spots, and it was like, oh gosh, okay."
Yeah.
We took it to, I think, our second market. A lady walked by. She didn't second guess that thing. She took it and was like, yep, how much is it?
Oh,
She didn't even. So that's where we were like, you can't also, like,
yeah.
just because we personally didn't like it, it does not mean somebody's not going to like it. You have to give it a try
Oh,
before
yeah,
you say no.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally agree
Yeah.
with that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, so one question that I have in mind is what are some of the most questions you get from customers about your product?
The biggest one, and it's funny because me and my mom keep talking about this, is we get asked if it's glass. People
Oh,
are
yeah.
scared to pick it up and look at it, and we're always like, ah, pick it up. Like
Yeah.
she's pretty chunky, like those snails,
Yeah.
and less those like the little
Yeah.
antennas. Those things are not breaking.
Yeah.
No, you could probably knock somebody out with it.
Yeah.
Like those things are chunky, and it would take a lot to break it. And like I always say to people, I'm like, oh, I'm too clumsy for glass. Like I could not work with glass, but that is the truth. I am so clumsy. So yeah, like that's our biggest one is
Yeah.
it glass. And we always have to tell people like you can pick it up and touch it.
Yeah.
And then like our next one is if they can go outside and like yeah, all the pieces can go inside, outside. We've put them in plants and gardens. I want to put a bunch on my fence. Like I want
Yeah.
to like do a little iguana crawl up my
Oh, yeah.
fence and whatever. But
Yeah,
so yeah. And then some pieces we don't put hooks on.
right.
Our first ones we didn't, but we figured out how to do on some of the other ones. But some of our pieces, the front and back, looks so good that it's like, well, we don't want to decide for somebody
Yeah.
what side looks better. So then we just offer it in the baggies. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. The
nice.
biggest one is it glass?
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. That
Which
goes
is
to
nice
the
to know that it
quality.
looks that good that people think
Yeah.
it's glass. Like I had that question about that skull that I made with the lights in it with the
Yeah.
flower. They were like, "Oh, that's glass." I'm like, "Oh no. Oh no, no.
No.
I do not work with glass. Too clumsy for that one."
Oh, yeah, no, I mean that just speaks to the quality. So that congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So our time has gone so quick again.
It
And
always
yeah,
does.
it always does. All the time. I mean, I have to have you on weekly.
My mom was like, we don't even get through all the questions.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you and your ADHD. I'm like, yeah.
But it's so nice to have you back and talk about markets. And I do want to have you back at the end of the, like towards the end of the market season to talk about your, the ones that you did attend and, what's in store for, your business. And yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes,
Sound good?
absolutely. Well, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for always having me. You're so awesome.
oh, you are too. You're welcome. Well, you have a lovely day and we'll talk
You
to
as
you later.
well.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us at the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast.